Welcome to Deep Thought. What good is being smart if you are not living the life you want? And that's a powerful question. And I want y'all to think about it. And a lot of times people will say, oh, I like what you're saying, but I want y'all to really think about it and answer it. I don't want this to be just something I'm throwing out something. I can throw out my thoughts for 8 to 10 minutes, but I want y'all to really think about this one. Like, what good is it being smart? You get some people, they'll say, oh yeah, I'm smart. I have 140 IQ or I did so well in school and I can read all of these books. Okay, you're smart. What good is it if you're not living the life that you want? Because what is intelligence anyway? Intelligence is really just getting through life. Indeed, it's kind of funny. Some of the, I have known three people, not one, not two, but three people who had 8th grade educations, yet they had more money than anybody. I knew this guy, and may he rest in peace. He knew everything about finances and all of that. And in fact, I remember he looked at me and said, Ron, don't read all this stuff. Read the Wall Street Journal. Read the financial pages. That will tell you everything you need to know. You can figure out politics and everything. This dude had money like crazy. This dude, and he worked a very modest job. He worked at a book stand. It was at 17th and K, Northwest DC. In fact, we used to call it by his name. And his name was Steve. I'll call his name. His name was Steve. We used to call the place Steve's. But he could have this dude who had an 8th grade education could have a very intelligent conversations with attorneys, with political people, with a few famous people whose name I'm not going to drop. And they would come to his place and they would just talk about whatever. He could talk politics, whatever with them. But he had an 8th grade education. Yet I've met people who've had educations beyond that level. Like they would have dual degrees, they would have college degrees, they were real smart wherever, and they weren't doing anything. As my co-parent would say, they were on the slab. In fact, she knew a young lady from her high school who was super smart but didn't do anything past high school. Like, what good is it? What good is it? And indeed, I knew this other guy, met this other guy. Now, he's probably still around now. He went through some stuff. But he wrote a book, and I'm gonna tell you what, that was the first book I ever read, and this includes some books from some publishers, some big publishers that didn't have any type of typo or anything in it. This is the first one. He had an 8th grade education, yet he knew how to present that type of book. I mean, it was one of the best books I've ever read. And then this woman, I always call her my second mother. I've mentioned her quite a few times. She only had an 8th grade education, yet, she had money like out the wazoo. They were very intelligent, yet I met people who blew away their education, graduated high school, graduated college, graduated even someplace like even med school or even law school or something like that. Yet they didn't have things going on for them. Then, they were supposedly smart, but what good is it if you're not living the life you want? Think about it. They weren't living. There's been plenty of people out here who they have on paper, they're very intelligent. And indeed, I remember reading this account of this guy who had a super high IQ, yet he was working as a janitor. Now, nothing against that, but come on, this guy has an IQ that high? This dude, in fact, there was another guy who was on Jeopardy. I'll never forget this guy. This guy was just blowing people away. It was like, well, what do you do? I'm an elevator operator. Hold up, wait a minute. With that intellect, with that knowledge, this is what you're doing. And you don't want, I'm not putting down any of those professions. But come on now. Come on now. We in this society where it's promoted that if you have a certain education, you spend all that money on school, you should be making money. Indeed, that's why people are going to like these high level schools, these Ivy League schools. Let's just be real. They going so they can go out and make money and live a better life. Seriously. Let's just be real. They're not going to really learn anything. Sure. Indeed, you could probably, as long as you can read, you can learn anything. Shoot, I knew this other guy. He didn't have a college degree, but this dude was sharp doing international business. I've known a lot of them. But you have so many guys, so many men and women suffering. But if you look at their background, you look at their IQ scores, they're not going as well. Like I know this woman, real high IQ score when she was young. She had skipped in school, yet having a lot of trouble. Went through a lot of trouble in life. It was like, wait a minute, hold up. You have that high IQ, but this is how you living? Seriously. Yeah, you have multiple people nowhere near that, at least on paper. But, one of the things that this one woman who was working on this job, she was just working as an administrative assistant. She said, yeah, she might not have the same credentials as the attorneys on the job, but she has a PhD in common sense. And indeed, I would say that's very intelligent. But let's be real. You got some people, they supposedly smart. They went through school. They got that high IQ. But they not living the life they want. Yeah, you might be one of those people. I don't know. Because my thing is, if you're going to be smart, you need to be living the life you want. Because that's the real thing of intelligence. Because then you're smart enough to do the things that you need to do what you want to do. Think about that. I want you to think about that. What good is it if you got all this going on, but you're not doing well? What good is it? What good is it? What good is being smart if you're not living the life you want? If you smart, if you intelligent, you got all this, then you need to be, I'm just going to say, you need to be living the life you want to live. What good is it? Because I'll look at myself. Yeah, I see all these books back here and, supposedly smart, supposedly, whatever. But I'm living the life I want. So if somebody tried to come against me, I'm like, well, I'm doing everything I want to do. Shoot, when I had my medical emergency, I was out of commission for what? Nearly 2 months. And still didn't miss any bills. Was able to pay everything. Still living the life I wanted. So I want y'all to think about that, all right? What good? Just ask yourself that question. Hopefully he ain't one of y'all. And if it is, ask yourself, you supposedly smart, okay. How come you're not doing what you're supposed to do? Or if you probably know somebody, I'm gonna say at least, because we've all met that person. We all met that person. They got all that intelligence, but on the streets they would say they like that common sense. But what good is being smart if you're not living the life you want? Ask yourself that question, and give that question to somebody you seeing maybe not doing what they could be doing. All right? So anyway, I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.